Lisa Bradley of Pretty Green Plant Things, the place where you come for information, passion, and education regarding all things green. And today I wanted to talk about avoiding or trying to avoid some common plant care mishaps or mistakes. The first, and it took me a while to not overlove my plants with overwatering. And, the first thing I want you to remember is that the plants exist in the wild. There is no genus named indoor plant. All of these plants are from the wild. They have learned to exist and adapt to times of drought, from times of excessive waterfall, from a multitude of different environmental changes. So, err on the side of underwatering. They have more than likely figured out ways to adapt. And I'll give you an example. When I was a kid, my mother went back to school when we were young, and she didn't have time to take care of her plants. And she had these huge plants. I think there was probably like a pothos and a dracaena and a couple of others, and they were massive. And I would occasionally remember to go up into the attic and water them, but it would probably be like once a month. These plants never drooped. They had a great amount of sunlight. They were in big pots, and they would be bone dry. And I would just water them when I remembered. And some of them are still alive. I mean, my parents bought that house that my mom still lives in almost 50 years ago, and the plants are still alive. So err on underwatering, because what I can tell you is that I have had multiple plants succumb to root rot, fungal infection, from the roots being suffocated and dying off because of overwatering. So please err on the side of caution and underwater. The plants will let you know. The leaves will start to droop, the stems will start to droop. You'll be able to see signs that the plant needs to be watered. Now, there are some plants that do not like to be underwatered, and they will succumb from being dry. And I've had that experience with alocasias, especially very small ones. I have one right now. I'll show you an overlay of what it looks like, because I forgot about it, and it's a smaller plant, and I'm hoping that it survives, but I have a few more of them around the house. But this is the only plant that I've had that just does not like to be underwatered. But otherwise, your plants are drought tolerant. So err on the side of underwatering them. The other thing, if you're worried about not being able to tell, I'll show you a picture. I use a moisture meter, and I use this specifically for my Stromanthe TrialStar, who I have unalived multiple of these. So I utilize a water meter specifically for this plant. And it really helps, because it lets you know, is this really dry? It'll let you know, is it dry as a bone? Is it a little bit moist? Is it very moist? So if you're ever wondering and you want to use a device, you can get these for like $10 or $15 at your local plant nursery or online. The other thing is, learn your home environment, and that takes a while. Sometimes you'll have plants that in one room they're thriving, and so where you see me, this is where the majority of my plants are, because this is the room where a variety of different types of plants are thriving. They love the environment. There's a good amount of humidity, and I think I have my humidifier on in the background, but they just thrive in this. I have a north, a west, and a south facing window, so I have a variety of different plants, and they just love this room. So I try and pack as many plants as I can into this room. The other thing is, if I have a plant that's not thriving in this room, I'll try other spaces throughout the house. Sometimes plants for a variety of reasons, whether it's the natural habitat that they come from or the mix of humidity in a different space. They just thrive in different environments. I have a spider plant that's over by this south facing window that it took years for me to figure out where is the best location for this plant, and it's finally in the last 6 months has started producing pups. And I've had this plant since, I don't know, 2018, maybe 2017. It's had root rot. I split it in half. It recovered. I actually gave away the twin plant. I regret that, but anyway, so figure out the best environment, and going from room to room may be an option for you. I will tell you there are certain plants that do not like to be moved, especially very rapidly from one location to another, and that's the ficus or the rubber plant, and the croton, I believe. These plants do not like to be moved very quickly, and when they do, the leaves fall off. So just, keep that in mind. The other thing is, talk to your friends and families and your plant communities about what are trials and errors about watering processes or specific plants. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. So ask, learn from others. You do not need to go through all of these plant experiences on your own. You can absolutely find out from your plant family. And finally, don't be afraid to go through trial and error. That's just a part of life. It's a part of growing. It's a part of learning. So make sure that, if you're worried about, hurting a plant, maybe start with a very small one that you found on clearance somewhere, or maybe someone gifted you a propagation. Just work with that. If it's a water propagation or it's in soil, try different light, look up information on YouTube, Pinterest, Google, TikTok. There's a variety of different sources where you can get great information to help you learn about plants so you can take better care of yourself and your plant babes. So I hope this helped. If you think of anything else that you would be of benefit for people in terms of plant problems and how to address them, please post it here in the comments, and I'll see you guys soon for the next post. Peace.